マイケルの長男プリンス・ジャクソンさんです。Welcome to Tokyo, Mr. Prince Jackson.
You got to be.
First, I'd like to say thank you, MTV Japan.
Jafaar, we love you.
Thank you, love you.
What happens when the world suddenly remembers your father, not as a legend, not as a performer, but as a presence so profound it silences thousands at once? This is not a movie premiere. This is a heart laid bare.
Tell us why you chose to come to Japan this time. Why Japan in particular?
Why did I choose to come to Japan in particular? Because I love the culture, I love the people, and they're always so gracious and loyal and kind.
A legacy awakened, and the moment a new generation truly feels Michael Jackson. The red carpet in Tokyo glowed under a sea of cameras and flashing lights. Yet it was nothing compared to the anticipation inside the theater. Fans from all over Japan, some who had known Michael personally, some who only knew him through recordings, were gathered to witness the premiere of Michael, the biopic that promised to bring him back to life. At the center of it all was Jafaar Jackson, Michael's nephew, who had spent years studying, rehearsing, and preparing to embody the king of pop. But nothing could prepare him for the moment the first scene unfolded and the crowd erupted in emotion. Not applause, not cheering, but a collective gasp, a ripple of recognition that went far deeper than excitement. This was reverence. And then Prince Jackson, Michael's son, appeared, quietly, with a gravity that hushed the entire theater. He did not need a microphone. He did not need an introduction. The sheer presence of his bowed posture, the weight of his grief and love, silenced thousands. The crowd collectively leaned in, held their breath, and in that instant, every eye was on him, every heart connected through the shared understanding of what Michael Jackson represented.
Mr. Michael Jackson!
Jafaar Jackson, standing nearby, felt the intensity sweep through him like a tidal wave. He had rehearsed every movement, every note, every flick of the wrist, yet this was beyond rehearsal. Seeing Prince, witnessing the quiet but commanding presence of someone who had loved Michael in ways only family could, made Jafaar acutely aware of the enormity of what he was about to do.
It was no longer about acting.
It was about honoring a life, embodying a soul, and channeling decades of love, grief, and admiration. The movie began, and the audience was immediately transported. Scenes of Michael's childhood, his rise with the Jackson 5, his relentless practice sessions, and the sacrifices he endured played on screen with a dark, emotional intensity. Japanese fans responded viscerally. Tears, smiles, gasps of awe. Each reaction reminded Jafaar of the stories he had grown up hearing, the way his uncle could make strangers feel seen, the way his humor would light up rooms, the warmth he carried even amidst the pressures of global fame. He remembered the whispered memories, Michael leaning over to comfort a fan backstage, a smile breaking across his face to make someone feel like they mattered. The way he could enter a room and lift spirits without a word, without fanfare, simply with presence. And here, in this theater, those moments were mirrored in real time, hundreds of people experiencing the same joy, the same emotional resonance, decades after they had first encountered him. Prince Jackson's moment on stage was subtle, yet overwhelming. He stepped forward, eyes scanning the crowd, and bowed deeply to the fans. The audience erupted in a mixture of emotion. Some wept openly, some gasped, and some silently pressed hands to their hearts. Prince's bow was more than ceremonial. It was a gesture of gratitude, of respect, and of shared mourning. He was acknowledging not just his father's legacy, but the devotion of fans who had held onto that legacy through decades of media scrutiny, rumors, and the inevitable distance that comes from fame. Jafaar felt the magnitude of the moment press on him. The emotional weight of performing as Michael, coupled with seeing the unfiltered love from fans and the acknowledgement of Prince, brought him to the edge of tears. Every movement, every note, every expression had to honor that history. And as he moved through the scenes, moonwalking across the screen, hitting notes with uncanny precision, he realized that embodying Michael wasn't just about replication. It was about connection. It was about feeling the love, the grief, the joy, and the humanity of the man he had lost and now resurrected on screen. Japan had always held a special place in Michael's life. During his career, he had spent extensive time performing there, often noting the intensity, dedication, and sincerity of Japanese fans. They did not just cheer for him, they connected with him. They embraced him unconditionally. For years, Michael had spoken about feeling safe and understood in Japan, as if the cultural reverence allowed him to breathe in ways he could not elsewhere. And that connection, once private, was now visible to the world. In the theater, the decades-long bond was palpable. Every tear, every sigh, every gasp of awe carried decades of admiration. Jafaar, feeling the electricity of the room, allowed himself to remember. The small details, the way fans would bow to him at concerts, the way children would hold handmade gifts close to their hearts, the quiet moments where Michael would smile and laugh with fans, making them feel seen, cherished, and important. These moments had shaped his understanding of Michael, not as a performer, but as a human being whose empathy and kindness transcended fame. And the reactions didn't stop at emotion. Celebrities present, those who had known Michael personally or admired him from afar, shared moments that only amplified the intensity of the evening. Snoop Dogg, usually composed and cool, was seen wiping tears from his eyes, repeatedly nodding in silent admiration. Questlove leaned forward in his seat, murmuring under his breath about the brilliance of Jafar's performance, describing it as a masterclass in channeling humanity. Even Will Smith, present for the premiere, remained unusually still, his gaze fixed on the screen, jaw clenched, overwhelmed by the emotional gravity of seeing Michael's life played out with such authenticity. Prince Jackson, still standing quietly, finally spoke to the audience, his voice catching on the first words. "Tonight, you are seeing what we have always known. Michael's heart was never just his own. It belonged to you, and now you see it through Jafaar. You feel it because it's real." The audience erupted again, not in cheers, but in a collective release of emotion that echoed through the theater like a tide. Jafar's chest tightened. He felt the invisible thread connecting the performers, the fans, and the family. Every emotion converged into one singular, overwhelming current. As the credits rolled, the audience remained seated, reluctant to leave, absorbed in a silence heavy with awe, grief, and reverence. Jafaar stood for a moment, collecting himself, feeling every tear, every cheer, every whispered word of admiration, every bow from the audience. It wasn't just a performance. It was a communion, a shared remembrance of a man who had given so much of himself that the world's love now felt almost unbearable in its intensity. And as the theater emptied, Prince Jackson once again approached Jafaar. No words were needed. A bow, a squeeze of the shoulder, and a shared glance conveyed decades of love, grief, pride, and validation. The son of Michael Jackson and the nephew of Michael Jackson, standing together, acknowledging the legacy that had transcended generations, borders, and even death. Japan had reminded the world why Michael Jackson mattered. Jafaar Jackson had reminded the world why his uncle's legacy was not just about music or fame. It was about empathy. It was about kindness. It was about presence. It was about the subtle, Human moments that made a superstar unforgettable. The laughter he shared, the smiles he gave, the love he carried into every room. And in that theater, in that city, decades of memory and devotion converged into one undeniable truth. Michael Jackson was not just a name. He was a presence, a feeling, a light that continues to shine, now channeled through Jafaar, witnessed by Prince. And forever embraced by the fans who never let him go.